Okay, hi. I'm going to probably actually go over the warm up longer than I did in class because I want to talk more about it. I just wanted to give people kind of a taste of it in class. And then I'm going to talk about some of the things you might need to know about Khan Academy and everything we kind of went over in class today. And I think I'm going to post this on YouTube. So if you look at the notes, it'll probably tell you where to fast forward to if you don't care about hearing more about the odds for poker. So the idea is I've got this thing called simple poker, which is just 4 cards, not 5. Okay, normally poker is 5 cards. Here we're going to play with just 4, which makes it a little easier to calculate odds. So aces are best. Not everybody always realizes that, but oftentimes what we consider the 1 is actually usually the best card when you play poker. Not always the case, but usually is. And then kings, queens, jacks stands down to the lowest number. But aces are sometimes considered like, what's that, 11, 12, 13, 14. In other cases, they're considered like 1 if you're thinking about ranking these things from highest to lowest. A pair, like 2 aces or 2 kings would be good. 3 of a kind, like 3 aces or 3 queens would do better. And 4 of a kind would be best, which means the very best hand in my made-up simple poker game is 4 aces. So my question is, how likely are you to get 4 aces? That is, what is the probability? In fact, I'm going to write that in another way. And in thinking about this question, when you're dealing cards, are you doing this with replacement or not with replacement? Because that actually changes the chances. Okay, so let's deal. So this is what we did in class. So I've got this thing which is already opened up actually. And the idea is I would deal some cards, which I don't know why this is doing weird things here. Okay, deal, Control Alt Shift 3, and it's going to deal some cards. And you will notice that, let's see. Oh, Bill got a pair of, no, just dealt. Oh, wow, I got a pair of aces. Notice I don't think anybody got 4 of a kind. That would be very unlikely. So my question is, how likely are you to get 4 aces? And I'm hoping what you would realize is the chance of getting 1 ace for the first card would be 4 out of 52, because there are 52 cards. So that's the first one. And then the next card, the chance of the next card being an ace, the first one, 4 out of 52, because there's 4 aces, 52 cards. The next card being an ace would be 3 out of 51, because if you got the ace, there's only 3 left, but now you only have 51 cards. And then 2 out of 50, and then 1 out of 49. So this is what the odds would look like for 4 of a kind, okay? 4 out of 52, 3 out of 51, 2 out of 50, 1 out of 49, which means when we multiply the 4 times the 3 times the 2 times the 1, we get 24. When we multiply the 52 times the 51 times the 50 times the 49, which is all in the denominator, it's this number. So let me mark this up. Okay, drawing. So what we just did, once again, we said for getting 4 aces, our first probability is 4 out of 52. That's for the first card. The next card would be 3 out of 51. The next card would be 2 out of 50. And the last card would be 1 out of 49. And when I multiply all this together, that's what this is right here. 24 out of 649,740, if I've written that right. 24 chances out of basically 6 million. Or if I reduce that, it's about 1 in 27,025. Now that's for 4 cards in order getting aces. My other question was, well, that's just, 4 aces is the best, but what's just the chances of getting 4 of the same card? Well, you got a chance for doing it with kings and with queens and so forth. So it's this number times how many cards there are for a particular, like an ace, 2, 3. There are 13 cards. So it gets a little better. If you're saying, well, not just ace, any 4 cards would probably win. It's very unlikely to get 4 of a kind in general. So that your odds get a little better there. They even get a little better in 5-card poker, not only because you have 5 cards, but you usually get to draw as well, so you get to replace some of those cards. But the odds are still pretty low of getting 4 of a kind. And then I've got some other calculations here, or what's the possibility of simply getting an ace on the first card, which is basically 4 out of 52 or 1 in 13. Getting the ace in general, there's different ways to calculate those odds. To get a single pair of aces in the first 2, because you have to start thinking about, well, single pair, this is what it would be for the first 2, but then I could get them here and here, so your odds actually start getting better. So one of the things I like to show you about this is you need to come up with a simple example and then think, okay, is that the only way it can happen? Because if there are other ways it can happen, you can usually add those odds together. In the same way down here, we basically added this in 13 times, once for the aces, once for the 2s, once for the 3s, once for the 4s, and so forth. This can get super complicated. I could spend a week talking about the odds here. In fact, I've spent probably more time than I want to spend, and hopefully I won't spend this much time in class. I just want to give people that idea, and the idea down here of how you would calculate it just for 4 of a kind, just for 4 aces. And then it starts getting very complicated as you start thinking about, well, if I get a single pair, does it have to be the first 2? Could it be the next 2? Could it be the next 2? And so forth. All right, the other thing I want to talk about, let me clear this out, is Khan Academy. So all of this is in the Google Classroom for today. So I'm going to actually go there and make sure I cover this. Okay, and instructions. Okay, first of all, we're going to start using this single link. So it should be the same link every day. There's a new schedule. For the only people it's really changing for is 4th period. They were meeting on 10 o'clock on Wednesday, Fridays. Now they are meeting with 5th period at 1 o'clock on Tuesday, Thursday. So that's the major change. So mainly 4th period needs to be aware of it. Because I'm doing this, it means I'll be having office hours every day at 11. So if you need to drop in for any reason, you can do that. The one other minor change is my 1st period class no longer has to get up at 9 o'clock on Monday mornings. They're going to start meeting at 11. So that's the other one. And if anybody has any conflicts, let me know and we'll figure out an alternate time for you to meet. Okay, so our goals for today: understand that new schedule and reasons for coming to class, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. You're going to make sure you're connected with Khan. Make sure you can see assignments in Class Mastery. It may be that once you connect, you still can't see my assignments because I need to do one more thing. Just because you join my class, it doesn't automatically give you all the assignments that everybody else has done. I have to do one more thing. So if you don't see the very first assignment, which is this probability assignment, you may need to tell me, hey, I still don't see it. Can you make sure I'm connected to the class? Which means you also may need to use a class code. Depending on how you connect, it may automatically connect you to my class or it may not. There's some prizes which I will talk about in a minute. So at the end of class, you will, if you were in class, you're going to get a chance at 2 tickets. If you're just doing Khan Academy on your own today, you can only get 1. And then in class today, I'm hoping there's a very short probability assignment. A couple of people did it over the weekend already, and in general, did fine on it. Just a little review and to make sure you know how to find an assignment. I very often will not be giving assignments. I'm going to kind of give suggestions. And then the way Khan Academy works is you get to kind of pick based on those suggestions, what else maybe do I need to work on? Because my suggestion might last like 5 minutes. And the question is, okay, I understood that. I don't need to do more practice, or I don't understand that at all. I need to watch a video. I need to do some more practice. That's a little simpler. So after you do the probability assignment, there's a quiz in the mastery section of Algebra 1. So if you click on Algebra 1 and go to Unit 1 and just scroll down to the first quiz, you will see that. I'll try to show you in a minute. And do the same thing in the geometry. I've got both these queued up because I think there's a lot of stuff in Algebra 1 that reviewing it now will make things much easier for you next year, and even possibly give you some stuff you can do at the end of the summer in advanced for Algebra 2 if you're feeling shaky on some stuff. And same thing with geometry. Now, one of the things with Con, which I'm going to keep repeating, is there's a lot of stuff in there. So if you start to get frustrated, like I don't know what to do next, that's another reason you should come to class, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. And then I would like you to do at least one more thing in Con. Assuming you haven't spent like a half an hour working in Con already, find another video to watch, find another short practice to do, which is often called a power up. Just find one other thing to do. This is a little bit of an exploration today. I think these quizzes will be pretty short. With all the quizzes and all the work, I would suggest having pencil and paper handy and probably a calculator handy. It'll just make things go quicker. Okay, so why come to live class? My expectation is you're going to work 30 minutes a day on Con. If you come to class, you only have to work 20 that day, because my assumption is the first 10 minutes of class, we're going to be chatting. And then after that, if you want to hang out working on your work so you can ask questions, you can. If you want to leave after that, it's fine. But I'm going to assume I'm going to use up 10 minutes of your 30 minutes of daily work in class. So you just, you don't have to make that up. So that's one reason. And we'll be talking about something related probably to something you're doing in Con. So that's one reason you might want to show up, as well as just to see each other. Every day you come to class, you also get an extra lottery ticket. What's that? I'll tell you about in a second. We'll be talking about a problem of the day. It'll be a really short lesson, like maybe 10 minutes. And then if there's a specific problem, if you come to class, or like you don't know what to pick next, that's when you can get help. You can also do that during office hours, but that's one of the reasons to come to class. Okay, there is a lottery. So we just finished up probability, and you're going to have some chance of winning 50 bucks, and we'll figure out how we're going to get that $50 to you should you win. There are 2 unique prizes. I'm saying unique because your name is going to be in the hat more than once, I hope. It is possible you could win twice, except I'm not going to let you win twice. If you win 50 and your name gets pulled on the second entry, we're just going to go to the next unique person. Okay, maximum of 2 entries today. If you go and fill out this form a bunch of times on the same day, I'm just going to delete them. In fact, I may delete some of the legit ones if you started using your privilege to add them. You'll get a email receipt every day, so you'll know if you've forgotten to do it or not. Okay, we'll give this away the last day of exams. But that's just my incentive, both to keep you on top of the Khan Academy. You get a ticket for every day you spend 30 minutes working on that. You get another ticket just for showing up to class. If you don't want to show up to class, just get one less ticket. So get chances to win. Okay, and here's our question of the day for tomorrow. This is very much similar to the first little quiz. So if x is 0.3 and y is 1/2, what's the value of the expression for y plus 10x divided by y? And I've got a couple of thinking questions like, are there any mental math tricks that make this easier that maybe you could do without a calculator? That would be a good thing to know. And what is a likely mistake people will make? I also will note, if it's not your class day and you want to talk about the question of the day, because I will probably make it a different question for Wednesday than I'm going to make it for tomorrow. It'll be similar, but it won't be exactly the same. You can come to another class. You can come to office hours. I prefer you come to office hours. I think that's it. So, oh, if you come to office hours after 11:10, I'm not going to go over the question of the day. Please show up at 11 if you're interested in talking about class today. That way I can talk for 3 people at once. Okay, so once again, classes are still optional, but recommended. I will track if you show up or not, including you will track, because hopefully you will turn in a ticket every time you show up to class. All right, I actually have to get to class, so let me stop recording. Stop recording.